Welcome to PPG Prayer Community. Our story today is titled Woman Who Waited, the miracle that shook Benin City. She was mocked, misunderstood, and labeled barren. But what the world called impossible, God called preparation. Sometimes, your delay is not denial. It's divine timing. One stranger, one surgery, one savior who never forgot her name. And when he showed up, he didn't give her one. He gave her three.
The fire that burned early. Bridget Uyi grew up under the rustling mango trees of Usulu in Benin City, where mornings were filled with the call of roosters and the bells of the Catholic mission down the road. She was the second of 5 daughters in a family that held God in high esteem. From an early age, Bridget was known for something rare, her fire for God. While her peers explored worldly pleasures, Bridget spent her evenings at the church compound, volunteering at youth meetings, leading rosary prayers, and memorizing scripture. Her favorite verse? Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Psalm 37 verse 4. By the time she was 18, she had become a spiritual reference point for many. People often whispered, "That one? She's different." And she was. Men noticed too. By her early 20s, Bridget's suitors ranged from engineers to entrepreneurs, pastors to politicians. But she wasn't in a hurry. Each proposal was met with prayer and fasting. She was waiting, not for a man with wealth, but a man with a heart aligned with heaven. Then came Jonathan. A wedding, a waiting. Jonathan was calm, intelligent, and steady. A government worker with dreams of building a godly home, he admired Bridget's commitment to God. Their denominational differences, he being Anglican and she a devout Catholic, posed a challenge at first. But love, they believed, would conquer it. Jonathan respected her convictions and began attending Mass with her. He even joined her during Lenten retreats and novenas. Bridget believed she had made the right choice. Their wedding was modest, blessed, joyful, and supported by both families. People said, "This union will bring forth many children. Jonathan is the only son. God must bless them." But God, it seemed, was silent. 1 year passed. 2. Then 5. No child. No pregnancy. No miscarriage. Just silence. The pain behind the praise. Bridget's home became a sanctuary of silent storms. She smiled at neighbors, served food at church, and kept leading the Legion of Mary group. But inside, she was unraveling. Jonathan, once expressive and open, had grown distant, carrying the burden of their childlessness like a shadow. Though both had taken fertility tests and were declared medically sound, Bridget couldn't help but feel like a ticking time bomb of blame. The community around her didn't help. Gossip has wings in African neighborhoods, and hers flew fast. How can a church girl be barren? Maybe she offended God. She should go and confess. The sharpest wounds came from family. Jonathan's mother, Mima Ruth, never missed an opportunity to publicly shame her. "You married my son and turned this house into a cemetery of silence." Sometimes, she would arrive uninvited and begin loud prayers in the living room, rebuking every unclean spirit of barrenness. These weren't prayers of love, they were public indictments. Bridget would sit quietly, her heart pounding, the walls closing in around her. Jonathan tried to be neutral, but his silence often felt like betrayal. He never corrected his mother. He never defended his wife. He only said, "Give her time, Mama. God will do it." But what about her heart? What about the cracks in her faith? Every evening, Bridget knelt by her bedside, praying with tears rather than words. She recited Hannah's cry, "Lord Almighty, if you will only look on your servant's misery, and not forget your servant, then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life." 1 Samuel 1 verse 11. One day, her friend Angela pulled her aside after Mass. "Bridget, maybe it's time to see a prophet or herbalist. There might be something spiritual hiding in your bloodline." Bridget shook her head. "No, Angela. God is not my last option, He's my only option." But even as she said those words, doubt was whispering. Was God still listening? The stranger on the bus. It was a humid Thursday evening. Bridget had just finished leading intercessory prayers with the Legion of Mary. She stayed behind to clean the altar, her hands still trembling from the power of the session. As she boarded the rusted, overcrowded city bus, Bridget wasn't thinking of anything spiritual. She was tired. Her heart was heavy. All she wanted was a quiet ride home. But midway through the journey, she noticed a man, a middle-aged man with sun-darkened skin, eyes as sharp as a hawk's. He stared at her, unblinking, as though her face carried his childhood secrets. She tried to ignore him. When his eyes didn't move, she cleared her throat and asked nervously, "Sir, do we know each other? You've been looking at me strangely." No response. Just a nod. And more silence. As the bus neared the Ikpoba slope, he finally leaned in and whispered into her ear, "You are the reason your womb has not opened." Before she could utter a single word, he jumped down at the next stop, and with the swiftness of a ghost, mounted a passing motorbike and vanished into the Benin night. Bridget froze. That single sentence echoed in her ears like a divine riddle. "You are the reason." How? Why? What did he mean? She stumbled home, mind spinning, heart hammering. When she stepped into the living room, her housemaid F rushed to her with wide eyes. "Auntie, I had a strange dream last night." Bridget sat down slowly. "I saw you in a hospital bed, with a huge belly. You were pregnant, with twins. But the babies, they weren't moving. The doctor said something was blocking them. Then I woke up." Bridget gasped. 2 messages in one night. A stranger's whisper and a servant's dream. She didn't eat that night. She just lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Her husband noticed her distress and gently pulled her close. "My love, don't let your heart be troubled. It shall be well." But Bridget couldn't sleep. Not that night. Revelation, surgery, resurrection. The next morning, Bridget dragged herself to morning mass. She sat at the back pew, head bowed, mind spinning. The priest that day preached on divine delay. He told the story of a woman who conceived after 16 years of marriage, not because of new medicine, but because of a divine revelation that led to medical discovery. "Sometimes, healing begins when light shines on the hidden," he said. "Some problems are not demonic, they're just undiscovered." Bridget couldn't take her eyes off the pulpit. After the Mass, she rushed to the priest. "Father, that story, was it true?" The priest smiled warmly. "Very true. She had fibroids. They weren't painful, just hidden. God revealed it in prayer. After the surgery, she conceived." That day, Bridget didn't go straight home. She entered the chapel and wept. "Lord, show me what I can't see. Shine your light on what's hidden." Days later, her company sent her to Lagos for a 4-day conference. There, her colleague, Mrs. Eniola, invited her to visit a friend who had just delivered a baby. They went to a women's hospital in Ikeja. There, while chatting in the waiting room, Bridget mentioned her situation to a young female doctor who was passing by. The doctor paused. "Have you ever tested for fibroids?" "No. The last clinic only did general fertility checks." "Let's do a scan, no harm in checking." The scan revealed it. Multiple fibroids pressing against her womb like stubborn stones. Bridget felt no fear, just hope. After 8 years, a diagnosis felt like a miracle. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1 verse 5. She scheduled the surgery. On the morning of the operation, she stood in the hospital chapel, whispered her vow again. Lord, if you bless me, I will give them back to you. The surgery went smoothly. When she returned home to Benin, Bridget was lighter, spiritually and emotionally. 1 month later, her body began to change. She felt sick, fatigued. Her appetite changed. She took a test. Positive. She rushed to the hospital. The doctor looked at the screen and began to laugh joyfully. "Madam, are you ready for this?" "What?" she asked. "You're carrying triplets." The house that heaven remembered. Bridget sat by the window that night, one hand on her belly, the other holding her rosary. Triplets. 3 lives. 3 loud answers from heaven. When she told Jonathan, he cried, for the first time in years. Even Mama Ruth, his mother, knelt and held her tightly. "Forgive me, my daughter. I judged you without knowing." Bridget's house became a church of praise. Every visitor who walked in felt the tangible presence of joy. Neighbors brought gifts. Church members rejoiced. Even those who had gossiped came to celebrate. But Bridget didn't just celebrate, she testified. At Mass, she stood before the congregation. "I was accused. I was broken. But God heard me." The same womb they mocked has become a tabernacle of praise. 9 months later, Bridget delivered safely. 2 girls. 1 boy. 3 arrows in the hand of a once weeping mother. Children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb a reward. Psalm 127 verse 3. They named them Faith, because it sustained her. Grace, because it kept her. Victor, because he was proof that victory always comes to those who wait on the Lord. The home that once echoed with silence now rang with laughter, lullabies, and worship. Reflection. To the woman still waiting. To the family still hoping. To the couple silently breaking. Let Bridget's story remind you that He makes all things beautiful in His time. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11. The wait is not the end. The pain has a purpose. And when God answers, He over-answers. Triplets instead of 1. Joy in place of sorrow. Praise where shame once lived. Hold on. Heaven will remember your house too. Glowing star moral lessons from the story. 1. Delay is not denial. Bridget's story shows that God's timing is perfect. Though she waited for years, what she eventually received was beyond expectation: triplets. Your waiting season is not a wasted season. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarries, wait for it. Habakkuk 2 verse 3. 2. Faith must endure fire. Bridget was falsely accused, misunderstood, and emotionally isolated, but she didn't let her pain turn her away from God. Real faith survives storms, suspicion, and silence. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. Isaiah 43 verse 2. 3. God can speak through the unusual. A stranger on a bus. A maid's dream. A random doctor in Lagos. God doesn't always speak in thunder. Sometimes He whispers through ordinary people. Be sensitive. Be open. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by so doing, some have entertained angels unaware. Hebrews 13 verse 2. 4. God can use doctors and miracles together. Faith and medicine are not enemies. Bridget's miracle came through revelation and surgery. Sometimes, the healing you're waiting for will come when faith meets wisdom. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet and be steadfast in all your ways. Proverbs 4 verse 26. 5. Don't judge what you don't understand. Bridget was wrongly blamed for what no one understood. Her story teaches us never to point fingers at someone going through a silent battle. You don't know what they carry. Judge not, that you be not judged. Matthew 7 verse 1.
Our advice to the woman still waiting: keep trusting, keep praying. God is not done. He's preparing something that eyes have not seen. Just like Bridget, your time will come. To the couple under pressure: Protect your unity. Don't let external voices shake your internal bond. You are a team. Don't fight each other. Fight together in prayer. To mothers-in-law and relatives, let love lead. Don't add pain to someone's trial. Be gentle. Encourage. Support. You may just become the voice that helps unlock the miracle. To the church community, let's support, not suspect. Instead of gossiping about those waiting for a miracle, intercede for them. The power of a praying community is unmatched. To everyone, miracles still happen, but they often happen when you trust God through the darkest valley and stay faithful when there's no sign of rain. If Bridget's story touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video if you believe your miracle is on the way. Comment below with your own testimony or prayer request. We read and pray with you. Share this story with someone going through a long wait. Subscribe to the Powerful People of God channel for more real-life testimonies that inspire, heal, and uplift. Your miracle may be just one prayer away. Stay faithful. Stay expectant. Stay powerful. Thank you for watching.